So following that review process, the next step, following this review and revision, is to present the final proposed budget to the ownership for approval. The asset manager will now take the budget they've worked out, hammered things through, washed it down with the operator, and take it now and present it to present the operator and management requests to the owner with their justifications for everything. So now it's in the ownership's court. Now these things include the near term, the 3 to 5 year, and the long term, 5 to 10 year capital needs. At this stage, the asset manager will reconcile the operator's requested CapEx budget with the ownership objectives. Ideally, the asset manager will have effectively communicated and included ownership objectives into this budget before presenting it to the ownership. Again, there should be no surprises. The ownership sure doesn't want to have any surprises come their way. It's vitally important that things in the washdown, complete alignment is made, and there are no surprises left. Now, once the ownership approves the budget, the asset manager will present the approved budgets to the operations for implementation. Now, the asset manager will discuss any changes made by the ownership, any additions or deletions made to the budget. And yes, once the proposed budget has been taken to the ownership, they may add or delete items if there are any surprises or things aren't in complete alignment. That does happen, hopefully not very often, and if it does happen, it's very minor, but occasionally it does happen. So then you take it back, final approved budget goes back to the operators, and you discuss any additions, deletions, any kind of changes made by the ownership to the budget. And then prepare an implementation plan with a timetable and an assigned responsibilities. To ensure accountability, there must be assignments of responsibility for each CapEx item in the budget. Most items are going to fall under the responsibility of the chief engineer or facilities manager. The final step is for the asset manager to establish, along with the operator, a process for monitoring, implementation, and reporting to ownership. Now, one final thing to note about this budget process is that in any given year, the amount of capital available will vary due to external factors, such as economic conditions that limit available capital, or other properties owned by this ownership may have greater needs that may change priority of allocation of the owner's funds, or alternative investment opportunities may compete for the limited resources from the owners. The owners may simply decide, I have a better return shifting my money away from this property into something else. These three things do occur. And I can tell you that in preparing a 2008 budget for a hotel, the 5-year CapEx plan for a hotel, 5-year forecasts were very strong. Revenues were very strong, the outlook was very strong. All that changed, a complete 180, in preparing the 2009 budgets, when the 5-year forecast took a very dim turn and looked very weak. Revenues went down, occupancy rates for the hotel went down, and lots of changes were made in CapEx, because the money wasn't going to be there. So changes in economic conditions can have a significant effect on budget planning. Okay, we're going to break at this point, and when we start up again, we're going to continue on with the monitoring of CapEx.